Hello, growers. Looking to turn your homestead into a profitable business? Or are you a farmer looking to boost your sales? Check out my book, Sell Everything You Grow. This book is the ultimate guide to choosing the right farm business model that fits your farm, time, and location. Discover which model has the highest profit margins and why diversification is so important. Whether you're selling apples, vegetables, or microgreens, Sell Everything You Grow will help you find your first market or expand into new ones. Get Sell Everything You Grow on Amazon and start selling more today. If we look at you running the business, not necessarily being in as much on the day-to-day work, what do you think are the biggest value adds that you bring to it? And let's just focus on the farm. So forget YouTube, all that. If you just look at the farm, being the manager, the CEO of the business, by stepping into that role, what's that enabled you to do and think about, and what are things you've done that maybe you couldn't do if you were caught up in that grind?
Yeah. So I think of myself as the coach most of the time, right? Like I'm coaching people. And I think that first year was really hard doing it by myself. And it was like 100 hours a week. And I'm used to working 100 hours a week. That's what it took to build the farm. I worked a 40-hour job and I built the farm in all my free time before work, after work, and on the weekends, 100 hours a week. But I was a chef before that. I already worked 100 hours a week. It was just what I'm used to. But then that's what it was, just working in the garden 100 hours a week. And that was not sustainable at all. So hiring people and then being able to take a step back now, no matter what, every single day I leave the farm at 3 p.m. and I go to the gym. And that time gives me clarity to come back. That doesn't mean I'm done working. I can still come back and work in the evenings and things like that. But going to the gym and just leaving the farm, getting off the property, and just gives me clarity on my entire business when I get back to the farm, because otherwise I will just work. And then when you just work and work, you're not thinking about how to build your business and grow your business. You're just thinking about the problems and how things are going wrong or those types of things. So I think by putting some trust and responsibility in other people's hands, it gives me an opportunity during certain parts of the day to take a step back and just work on my business and not in my business. That's the biggest advantage, I would say, to be able to really take time and plan things, think about things. But I'm a planner. You can see the walls behind me. This stuff doesn't happen by accident. Everything I do is calculated.
Are there any examples that come to mind of concrete things that you've put into place because you were able to step back, see the big picture, and have that clarity?
Yeah. My whole farm has systems that are trainable, that I can train anybody how to do it. We do the same things every week. My business is salad greens. We sell 100 to 200, sometimes it's more like 200 to 300 pounds of salad greens every single week. And it's just repetitiveness, right? That I can teach anybody how to do it. So if one person gets fired, I just bring a new person in and I teach them how to do it. I have a lot of people, brands that recommend all kinds of different products I could use, or different growing strategies or styles. And but I've got systems set in place here. They work. This is what we do. It's trainable, and not just sticking to what works and not really going outside of that. That's not to say I don't experiment with stuff and do stuff just for fun. I totally do. But what pays the bills is the systems that are set up in place that are efficient, and the tools. I've built efficient systems around the efficient tools that I use. And that's the only way that at first, when I was doing it by myself, a lot of the times I'd spend a lot of time running over here to grab a rake and then running over there to grab a shovel and then lugging one tote at a time back and forth to the coolers and everything. And I realized how much time was being wasted just running back and forth all the time. And that's how I've developed the systems so that people don't do that. I've set everything up so it is absolutely impossible for the slowest person in the world to not work efficiently.
Sounds obvious. What are the keys to having a good system if somebody's going to follow it?
Yeah, it's like workflow. So the way the farm is set up is very intentional. I can look out the windows and see everything. It flows this way. So we load compost and wood chips and stuff with the tractors over there. We can come in with the wheelbarrows, do all the bed prep. All the harvesting get done in buggies, and we can bring buggies full of the vegetables this way from wherever in the garden. I've got 5 high tunnels back there, and it all flows in here. And then it comes into under the back deck of my house, which is right here, which has a loading dock where we can back trucks right up into here. And I keep my CoolBot trailer under the deck. So it all flows out of the garden and then under the deck where the CoolBot trailer is. So it either goes directly into the CoolBot trailer or then into the basement of the house. The basement of the house is the wash pack station. There's also refrigeration in there. The wash pack station is set up very efficiently with stations, so you don't have to move to do anything. It's in a corner. One corner is like washing. There's a wash tank here. All you got to do is pivot to go like this to wash. Then you pivot to spin. Then you just take it over to the drying rack. Then the other pack station, everything's right there. It's like a restaurant station. That's all I've ever known. That's all I know how to set things up. And the way you do things in a restaurant is make it so you don't have to move. You just stand in one place. My seed starting area, I have my quick click drop seeder and all my tools that go with it right here. There's a big table. The potting soil's underneath with a shelf underneath that has all my paper pot chains in different sizes with the different trays right there. The potting soil, I buy Vermont compost potting soil. I buy the bags on purpose, not in totes, because we stack them right under the back deck. So if you run out of potting soil, it's only 4 feet away. And then you can grab a bag and bring it in and you can fill your tote with new potting soil. Like everything's set up in stations so that when you're on the station, you don't have to go anywhere to do anything.
Hello, growers. Protect your crops from harmful insects with Modern Growers Insectanet. This top-tier insect netting made by Modern Grower shields your plants from pests and harsh weather, boosting your yields without harmful sprays. Insectanet's unique design allows 90% of the light to pass through and is easy to use with low tunnel systems like our Quick Hoops. It's soft, elastic, and durable, perfect for field use to help ensure that your crops thrive. Say goodbye to pest damage and hello to healthier, market-ready produce. Invest in Insectanet and see the difference it makes. Get Insectanet at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.